Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for the 1080p budget GPU battle. It's the A750 against the AMD RX6600. Both are currently available at around €260. Which one is the best card for you? Let's find out. Alright. Specs-wise, the cards are very similar and both feature 8GB of VRAM, but the Intel card has one feature advantage I will talk about at the end of the video, so make sure to watch the whole thing. First game I tested is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Not only the specs of the cards are very similar, but also the results in this title. It is a neck-to-neck race. Basically, both cards perform the same, with over 100 FPS without ray tracing, but activating the ray trace shadows at the ultra quality brings both cards down to the same slightly above 60 average. Okay, perhaps Red Dead Redemption 2 will give us a clear winner. Nope. Basically, once again, both cards perform really great and basically the same. Will this whole video be a waste of time? Nope. Stay with me and you will see why. Next up is Cyberpunk, and while in the classical rasterization benchmark at the high preset both cards once again perform the same, things start to change when we crank up the ray tracing and go up to the ray tracing medium preset. All of a sudden the RX6600 clearly falls behind the Intel Arc A750. Perhaps we are up on something. Let's see. And here we go. Hitman 3 clearly shows some differences between the two cards. While in the classical rasterization benchmark both cards perform really great, the Intel A750 still clearly outperforms the AMD RX6600. But when we activate ray tracing, the difference between the two cards becomes even clearer. The A750 almost exactly doubles the performance of the RX6600. It seems that the Intel A750 is clearly a very strong performer when it comes to ray tracing. So let's see what happens when we put a lot of ray tracing pressure on the cards. Metro Exodus is hard to run and features a hell lot of ray tracing at each preset. And as kind of expected, the RX6600 falls far behind the Intel A750 in this title. But will this trend continue? F1 2022 is up next, and interestingly the RX6600 is by far a clear winner in the high preset without ray tracing. Enabling ray tracing, both cards all of a sudden perform the same at the ultra-high preset. Interesting. Forza 5 also turns the tables in favor of the RX6600. At the extreme preset with the high ray tracing settings, the RX6600 is 13% faster. Weird? I have a theory, cause it happened in two specific titles now, and I will tell you about that at the end of the video. Let's for now continue with the benchmarks. Next up is Watch Dogs Legion, and yes, I am aware that I misspelled the game title at the side of the graphs. Sorry. The results, however, once again fall into our expected behavior. Both cards perform the same in classical rasterization benchmarks, and the Intel A750 clearly takes the lead over the RX6600 whenever ray tracing is enabled. Next up is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is once again an AMD favoring title. With a 70% lead over the A750, the RX6600 easily wins this benchmark. Good job, AMD. Next up is Tiny Tina's Wonderland. In this title, the A750 has the advantage over the RX6600. In both presets tested, Ultra and Badass, the Intel card is about 18% faster than the RX6600. Yeah, well done Intel this time. Far Cry 6 leaves us with a very interesting benchmark result to think about. In pure rasterization performance, the A750 wins, but when enabling ray tracing, the RX6600 takes the lead. Okay, this feels a bit weird, but I might have an explanation later at the end of the video. Last but not least, we have a synthetic benchmark we all know and love or hate. 3D Mark uses the latest DX12 features and also brings a pure ray tracing benchmark to the table with the Port Royal benchmark. As I expected in this synthetic benchmark, the A750 blows away the RX6600. Unfortunately, most game engines are not that optimized and don't use all and only the modern DX12 features that are available. So, in order to be able to give you a final verdict and a theory why the RX6600 performs better in some titles but normally falls behind the A750, let's sum up the average FPS of the games tested, one for pure rasterization and once only for ray tracing enabled benchmark runs. In the rasterization benchmarks, the difference between the two cards is around 1.7%, so basically within margin of error. We can easily say that both cards perform the same with regard to rasterization performance. With regard to ray tracing, the A750 takes the lead by a 33% uplift over the RX6600. This is kind of the result I would have expected also for the rasterization performance. Intel's driver issues aside and AMD's great drivers aside, I mean they had years to optimize them, still why did the RX 6600 perform so strong in certain titles? Taking a closer look, especially those titles like Assassin's Creed Forza 5 and F1 2022 are also available for Xbox and often have that built for AMD or something logo in the intro. Why does it matter? Don't forget, the Xbox and other consoles run on AMD hardware and chipsets inside. So I'm not that surprised that these titles also perform really well on AMD cards in the PC. But it is just a theory that I can hardly prove. If you find that explanation reasonable or have a better idea, please leave something in the comments down below. Also, you can support me on Patreon, and the first Patreon only video is up, and a big thank you and shout out to my first Patreon, Jingling Johnny. Love you, mate. Thanks for your support. Okay lads, that's it for today. Don't forget to watch my other A750 videos and please like and subscribe and ring that bell. See you in the next one. Alpha, over and out.